Thank you, Des. Good morning, everybody. Oh, this is better than washing the car, isn't it? Sunday morning, the sun is shining, the country is decked out in all its national regalia and colour, and England are at the World Cup finals. I know that face. Well, what's he doing at that end? I wonder if you're sitting in the same chair as you were at 5:15 on October the 6th last year, the moment that Teddy Sheringham won that free kick at Old Trafford, and oh no, Beckham's not going to take another one, is he? That's what we were saying in our house, my dad, my son and a few good friends watching the Greece game together at home, as I'm sure many of you are this morning. Let's hope we get another such moment here in sunny Saitama this morning. Just coming up to 6:25 local time. And if you are in Aberdeen or Aberystwyth and you've got your hair painted Freddie red this morning, that's okay. It's only a football match, you can support who you like. But I have been surfing the headlines in our national newspapers from my laptop over here in Japan these last couple of days. And the overriding mood of the nation has been coming across loud and clear. And Ron and I are in exactly the same mood, I can tell you. This is the game that could really get England started at these World Cup finals. But before we start, the playing and singing of the national anthems. Too many of them seem to know the first verse, let alone the second. Sweden playing in change colour of blue now, await their national anthem. Every team that won its opening game at the last World Cup qualified for the second round. Every team that lost its opening game at the last World Cup failed to qualify for the second round. 5 points is the generally accepted comfort zone in this first phase. 5 points from 3 games is a reasonable ask. Lose here, and England may have to beat Nigeria and Argentina. Win here, and 2 draws or 1 win would suffice. The next couple of hours set the tone for the next couple of weeks and maybe the next couple of years. The early evening temperatures have fallen. It's a very pleasant, mild evening. Perfect conditions for football overhead. Underfoot, both medical teams have expressed a little concern about the firmness of the pitch. It's very hard indeed. And I understand from Gary Newbon, our reporter in the England camp, that there has been some concern in those areas. It has been a month of broken bones and broken hearts, but emergency ward Sven has cleared to within 3 of his favoured lineup. Neville, Gerrard and Dyer would probably have played but for injury. Dyer may still as a substitute. Beckham definitely does. His 50th game for his country. It's the first competition international for both Mills and Vassell. Hargreaves played just 12 minutes in Munich last September. Just a dozen minutes of World Cup experience between the 3 of them. So much has been said about Freddie Ljungberg and Henrik Larsson these last few weeks, but it's Sweden's defence that has got them here, and Patrick Andersson is a big, big miss. Andreas Jakobsen, his replacement, didn't figure in any of the qualifiers. 8 of the 11 earned their livings in the UK now that number 10 Marcus Albeck has joined Aston Villa. None of them were born when England last beat Sweden in 1968. All the squads are stripped for action, 3 substitutes permitted. And Nicky Butt and Kieran Dyer are close to match fitness now. They were close to playing, but Sven just couldn't take any more risks with Beckham out there. It's a long tournament, or that's the plan anyway. The referee is from Brazil. We have not seen a red card in this tournament thus far. The officials have been unfussy and controversial. Let's hope that Senor Simon is the same. Ron Atkinson is sitting alongside me. How do England win?
I think they've got to exploit that back line of Sweden. They've got great pace up front, and the 3 front runners particularly have got to hound that back line to death. They really have got to work hard at them.
When the game starts, it won't matter that it's Sweden. The last words of the man who leads England into these finals against his fellow countrymen. He's about to find out how much this does matter to the English public. Here we go for another white-knuckle ride with the England football team. Darius Vassell beaten to it by the Swedish captain in the absence of Patrick Andersson. Johan Mjällby of Celtic, who's been inundated with well-wished cards from Glasgow and the surrounding areas. Ashley Cole. Emil Heskey starting on that left-hand side. Owen and Vassell down the centre. Here is Michael Owen. Good turn. He's found some space straight away, but it's denied it by Freddie Ljungberg. Forward by Svensson. First touch for Larsson, but Scholes was quickly to him. Now Owen Hargreaves. David Beckham on the ball. Mills is at his right shoulder. Crossed in towards Vassell, turned away by Mjällby. Svensson is there, miscues his clearance, and England have a throw.
Yeah, promising move that. Great understanding between Mills and Beckham. Beckham going, sucking the ball out, and great desire from Mills to push forward. There's a lot of space down England's right-hand side. Freddie Ljungberg getting pulled in field.
Svensson seeking out Larsson. Seaman in charge of the situation. Like England, Sweden haven't been getting anybody overexcited with their form since qualifying. They haven't won an international this year. Paraguay actually beat them in Stockholm last month, and they left for the Far East with boos ringing in their ears, but that is their only defeat in 20 internationals. They are stubborn so-and-sos. Here is Ljungberg. Beckham dispossessing him.
You know, Clive, looking at the England shape, he's got Heskey playing, Heskey on the ball now. He's basically going to start on the left-hand side a lot. And it looks as if, although he's gone in field at the moment, it looks as if Beckham's going to try and make the full use of the width out here. Didn't half throw an onus on Hargreaves, who's got great energy, and Scholes. It looks as if they're going to have to cover a lot of ground.
Owen to Mills, who's onside. His cross, though, has gone out of play before swinging back in. Seemed at times like he's mugged his own granny in order to get here. Danny Mills' disciplinary record has been trotted out like a criminal record, but has The England coach has said World Cup finals are no place for angels. There are a few defenders here who could make Danny Mills look like a cherub. So in case you were confused, Sweden are in the hands of joint coaches Lars Lagerbeck and Tommy Söderberg. The ball is in the hands of Michael Owen. Oh, he's run past two of them, but the ball ran away from him. Looking bright and lively though, Owen.
Yeah, he's dropped off the front on a couple of occasions, picked it up and perhaps got a little bit excited. He had players in positions around him. Heskey was making up the ground on the outside of him.
Mellberg, who plays at right back for Sweden, the Aston Villa centre-back.
I think this is a situation when we get possession at the back, I think we should look to switch it out to our right-hand side. Ljungberg, although he's occupying a left-handed side position at the moment, Ljungberg looks as if he's been instructed to play right behind the front players at every opportunity. It looks as if when the ball goes into either Larsson or Olbeck, he's going to push himself in and get between them.
A lot has been said about this being an England team for the future, but opportunity is knocking in the here and now, and you just never know when it's going to call again. But the average age of the 10 outfield players today is under 24. Sol Campbell is the old man of the team, David Seaman accepted. Just feel that in the last few days the cards have started to fall their way. The ear-to-ear smile that has spread across the captain's face has spread through the squad. They are as ready as they'll ever be. Goals. Mills. Looking to get Vassell beyond Mjällby, and he's done just that. Mjällby recovers. Throwing has gone England's way.
I think you're seeing them looking for that an awful lot, particularly in the early stages. Not so much build-up into midfield.
Mills' cross in towards Michael Owen. Just won by Jakobsen in front of him.
I just wonder what the reaction might have been if there had been a goal from England's point of view there. The throw from Beckham looks a bit dodgy. Yeah, I don't think, looking at this is the position, the situation we're in, I don't think we're going to look to play too much in the midfield. We're going to look long a lot. I think that's the game plan, to get the ball in behind the Swedish back line.
That's a good cross by Beckham. Turned away by Jakobsen. Mills, England have some heat on here. Beckham has kept the ball in, run into Svensson. Prodigal son of the last World Cup is England's favourite son of this World Cup. And Michael Owen just denied a racing start by the head of Jakobsen. England have a free kick. Vassell. Mjällby got to him at the expense of an England throw. One of the weapons that Danny Mills does have in his armoury is a long throw. And towards Owen. Turn back to Hargreaves. Hargreaves looks very assured for a young man.
Yeah, seized his opportunity brilliantly, hasn't he? Great energy, great assurance, great confidence, and a fair alternate pace for a midfield player as well.
Incredible to think there are 4 players in this England lineup with less than 10 caps to their name. Cole, Mills, Hargreaves and Vassell. But then England's 2 goal scorers in the 1966 World Cup final didn't even have 10 caps between them before the start of the tournament. Jeff Hurst came into it with 5 appearances for England and Martin Peters just 3. Alexanderson into the path of Larsson. Hargreaves got the tackle in. Actually been a record of players bursting onto the scene. Peter Beardsley was a newcomer in '86, David Platt in 1990, and of course Michael Owen with just 5 caps to his name before the last World Cup finals, where he was one of the stars of the tournament. It can happen. Maybe it will happen for one of the England boys this time. What is happening at the moment is Larsson breaking forward for Sweden. A disappointing cross. $4,000 tickets came the way of England supporters officially. Another 2,000 were put on the market by FIFA and snapped up by them here in Saitama, but the FA are now estimating that the England support inside the ground has swelled to some 10,000. Beckham to Hargreaves. Scholes. Campbell's header, turned on by Scholes, won back by Linderoth.
No, watching Beckham, he's the early stages, he's almost playing as an out-and-out orthodox right winger.
Tends to roam a little more for England than he does in a Manchester United shirt.
I like to see him do that. I think he's the player for England that gets England by the scruff of the neck when he's got the ball, as he's done in games, and dictates the flow. I mean, I'm one of those that prefer to see him, certainly in England shirt, playing much more central areas where he can be on the ball a lot. I just wonder, whether the England manager's protecting him a little bit, asking him to stay wide, and just asking him to give good delivery.
Well, foul has been given against Mills as Youngberg goes to ground. There didn't seem to be a great deal of contact. Maybe
That's a very harsh decision now.
They just leave him off balance. There's very little in it. Johan Mjelby is forward. Free kick which Teddy Lucic will take. And dealt with well by Sol Campbell. Ferdinand's header. Larsson back to Mellberg. Mjelby is still forward. Mills managed to get something on it. Beckham is able to bring it away. Go a bit quickly to him. His left foot has been subject of more daily bulletins than a raw baby.
Yeah, and I just wonder whether Sweden have said to themselves, hey, first chance you get, somebody gets a 50-50, go in and clatter him and test it. Which is a perfectly legitimate tactic, isn't it?
The other Martin Keown's been giving a bit of a chasing in training just to make sure that everything's okay. He would have relished that job. England kicking towards Heskey on that left-hand side. It was awkward for Campbell, and here's Larsson. Campbell managed to get back there. Larsson, though, has run it for Youngberg. Shot blocked by Ferdinand. First hint of real danger for England. Yeah,
all caused by sloppy defending. I mean, we've talked about the big responsibility on the front three, but booking already straight away.
Yellow card out, presumably for that foul by Campbell. And that's why Larsson is limping.
Certainly a rash one.
Two yellow cards in the first phase of the competition would lead to a suspension, but the bookings are white before the knockout stages, so the danger of suspension is fairly limited during the tournament. Mellberg. Larsson.
Another feeling, Clive, in the England camp is they definitely feel that pace is the way to get behind this back line of Sweden's. And what would worry me a little bit, it'd be interesting to see. We're empty in midfield, we've only got two basic midfield players, and whether we're going to get enough good possession in midfield to supply the ammunition. I'd like, as I said at the answer, I'd like to see Beckham going in areas, just play off, if you like, Hargreaves' shoulder. He'll get plenty of the ball, and he'll be able to release the front players from better situations, better positions. At the moment, we're a bit inclined to hit quite a lot of straight balls, which the defenders can get a line on quite comfortably. Headed by Jakobsen.
Hargreaves. Owen was coming back from an offside position, cleared by Mellberg. Larson in pursuit, Ferdinand in control.
I think Vassell should be looking to make his runs at the moment while this play's developing, although we haven't got good possession yet. While the play's developing, look to start making a few runs in behind the left back area. Into this, he started to make it.
Mills. Lucic was quick to him, and too quick in the opinion of the referee. Free kick, I think, has been awarded.
Scratchy start though, isn't it? A couple of crosses, a couple of useful crosses early on, but no real fluency at the moment. Having said that, there hasn't been much of a threat from the Swedish team.
Beckham seeking out Cole. Dashing run by Cole. There is a flag up against Michael Owen, who just couldn't quite stay on side as he tried to bend his run to link up with Cole, who injected an added ingredient there.
That's a nice bright surge. I just thought he was a touch unlucky, you know. It's touch and go, that, you know. I think Teddy Lucic must have had his heart in his mouth when that ball was played through.
Final score in the second match played out here today: Paraguay 2, South Africa 2. Quinton Fortune was amongst the South African goal scorers, so one Manchester United player has scored in these World Cup finals today. Argentina beat Nigeria by 1-0 earlier in the group. Scholes. Heskey. Comes back to Hargreaves, and Sweden have had a chance to regroup.
Yeah, I thought Heskey had a great opportunity, but Hargreaves just carried the fight, kept it going.
Galloping run. Vassell. Clever turn in towards Owen, cleared by Mjällby. Owen didn't quite read Vassell's ability to twist and turn and squeeze across into the near post. Allbeck coming back has only steered it into the path of his new teammate Vassell of Aston Villa. He really is a bundle of tricks, and he's squeezing another cross here, which Lucic has to deal with at the far post. Here is Allbeck, the new Aston Villa man, into the path of Jakobsen. Linderoth taking over. Lucic making a run from left back. He is a naturally right-footed player. And Mills, almost aware of that, was able to force him wide and make the clearance.
I think in the earlier break, I was about to say, Clive, in the earlier break when Scholes fed Heskey in, I mean, it was a good break for us. I'd like to have seen Heskey. He got the right full back 1v1. I'd like to see him just knock it into the grass behind him and try and take him on it. The worst comes to the worst, he's going to get a throw-in or a corner. I think with the pace we've got, when we get defenders 1v1, we've got to make that count.
They'll be in towards Allbeck. And Emil Heskey had to help out there. He's been cast in the role of ugly duckling just lately, but he is an uncomplicated, uncomplaining foot soldier in the team.
Yeah, he does a team job on that left-hand side. I'm not convinced myself about him there. I think for England, he's better up the middle where he's got a bit of the club understanding with Owen, particularly when he puts himself about and uses his physical presence.
Corner which Svensson will take, for which both the central defenders are forward, and Mellberg too. Three of the back four inside the England penalty area. Back out to Svensson. Headed by Campbell, doesn't get the job done at all. Seaman has to claim it, and does, under pressure from Larson. Campbell's stray header causing the alarm. Good take there by the England keeper. Cole quickly to Alexanderson. But England have a problem with Darius Vassell down in the centre of the field at the moment.
But to be fair, he's looked very, very lively and sparky. He's looked the one who's been zipping about and most likely to make things happen. Ooh, against his clubmate as well, isn't it? Olaf Mellberg. It's a bad one, that. That looks a bad bang, that.
Mellberg did say publicly this week that Vassell wouldn't expect any favours from him, which, bearing in mind Mellberg fights with his own teammates in training, is hardly surprising, really. Looks a little dazed. Vassell is currently being stretchered away, although he is sitting up.
Yeah, he's living a dream come true, Vassell. He'll not want to stay off. He'll want to be back on as soon as possible.
He is dreaming at the moment. Linderoth. Headed by Ferdinand. Youngberg surging forward. Hargreaves quickly to him. Good ball from Beckham to Mills. Seemed to be impeded there by Linderoth. Vassell, thankfully, is back with us. And none the worse for wear. A lot of England support amongst the home-based public here. England have worked very hard on their PR since arriving in the Far East. Vassell with the header on. Owen trying to reach it, turned away by Jakobsen. Mjällby to Lucic. Went back by Scholes. Now Vassell. Ashley Cole. Michael Owen. Just spin away in between Jakobsen and Mellberg, who was having none of it. Header though by Campbell. Tossed forward by Svensson. Came off the head of Larson. Ferdinand not taking the chance of going back to his goalkeeper, but that firm bounce that we were talking about before kick-off, very evident. Defeating Ashley Cole. Svensson. Alexanderson tackled by Heskey. Cole forward. Owen. Good control. Heskey to Scholes. Bundled to the ground by Freddie Youngberg. But with Youngberg committed, England have opportunities down their right. Beckham instead looks for Vassell. And Jakobsen leads Hedman to deal with it.
I think that's one of the reasons the England manager wanted Beckham back in the side. He's relying on his pace of his front players. He wants somebody that can pull the trigger and supply the ammunition. This is what he's looking for from Beckham, to dink it over the diagonal balls, dinked over the top. Always going to give the runners a chance. He actually, on that side, Beckham from that particular situation had a great break outside him by Mills, but he chose to ignore him. But I think that's what the England manager said to him. Every opportunity, look forward as early as you can, particularly if you can stick balls in behind them.
Heskey to Owen. Here's Beckham again, looking for Vassell this time. Mellberg in the way.
As it develops from here, Clive, there's a big responsibility on young Owen Hargreaves, you know, because Youngberg he sneaked right off the flank. He's in positions now where if they do get good possession, he can dive in off the back of our midfield. It's a big responsibility for that, for someone as young as Owen Hargreaves.
England know the problem. Sweden have conceded just 3 goals in 10 games in qualifying for these finals, just 1 goal in qualifying for Euro 2000. Their defence is very stingy.
Yeah, I've had the distinct impression the majority of our build-up has not been so much for the duration of the World Cup as much as for this game. I think a lot of the pre-season work or the preparation work was done on it. Three men up front, long ball over the top, trying to turn them round. You know, there's a feeling at international football that's giving the ball away doesn't work too often. The best sides always appear to be the ones that can keep possession and play through their midfield.
Campbell tossed forward, seeking out Heskey long. Jumping with Mellberg, centre forward against centre half. Cole. Scholes. Haven't seen a lot of Cole getting forward. One time he did, he caused panic. Beckham popping up in the centre. Chipped forward by Heskey, and Cole's cross is smothered at the near post and clear behind by Melberg.
Yeah, we've made, as you say, that's the second sortie that's made something happen for us. I think the problem Cole's got is because we've got so much space on the other side of the field. Danny Mills can go, and Cole's certainly got to stay in defensive areas.
Midpoint of the first half. Ferdinand and Campbell are forward, and they've scored! Campbell! England's World Cup is up and running! Sol Campbell is the goal scorer! David Beckham the provider! And just look at the joy on those faces! Sol Campbell, who had that goal infamously disallowed against Argentina 4 years ago, has his moment in the sun.
The priceless delivery there, perfect ball in perfect weight. He's got the first one on everybody. Headman will, you know, I know I've seen him on several occasions. He ain't the best on crosses, as was proved there, but take nothing away. That's a good, positive, driving run. He's gone in brave. Once he's made the connection, the keeper's nowhere.
Cap number 47 for Sol Campbell. Goal number 1. He's picked his time, hasn't he? And to the delight of the most famous Swede in the ground, England lead. Scholes seeking out Owen. Trying to turn away from Jakobsen. Mjällby is there. Campbell telling everybody to calm down when inside that white shirt his heart must be racing. But there, the value of the captain's delivery again. Never mind the injured left foot. That right foot is a magic one, and it just swung the ball right onto the forehead of the galloping Sol Campbell. Well, he almost made the job look easy for a year or so, didn't he? England manager, what's all the fuss about? Curl to Owen. Robbed by Ljungberg. Lucic sold short. Mills surging forward for England. Driven in dangerously, almost came for Owen, almost came back for Mills, might come for Beckham. There was a bit of a speculator in the end from Mills when there were options. Beckham was at his shoulder.
That's on all the while. They're getting doubles up on this Teddy Lucic, simply and purely because Ljungberg's playing in a central area and there's acres down England's right. I think if they use the heads a little bit between them, Mills and Beckham, they can carve this defence up to pieces on this side.
Larson seemed to catch Mills on the back of the head there, but he's keeping his cool. And the Swedish coaching staff trying to keep theirs. It's Lars Lagerbäck. Back to Alexanderson. Good challenge by Scholes. It's not always the strong point of his game. He makes enough tackles, doesn't always time them quite as well as that, but that was perfect. That's it, run for David Beckham. Plenty of movement ahead of him. Can't help but feel that Sol Campbell's a stronger man for the personal challenge that he's come through in the last year, following his change of employer. He's had to get the blinkers on and take his medicine and nurse a few wounds, but the medals have rubbed some lotion on them. Maybe the big decisions seem a little easier when you got the last one right. And he was an outstanding player at the last World Cup finals for England, and he's already made an outstanding contribution here. Campbell, the goal scorer, forward towards Owen. One in the air by Mjällby. Now Ljungberg. Touch on from Allbeck, trying to release Svensson, and Hargreaves has been penalised. I thought he got the ball too for Rio. Ferdinand did get the ball. Larson and Ljungberg are the two men standing over the ball. They are a good 35 yards plus out. Allbeck has now come to consult. David Beckham is on the end of a three-man England war. Scholes now joining it just out of your shot. Henrik Larsson, curled, wide. Pretty glum looks on that Swedish bench.
I actually think, looking at the team, you know, I think if England could really step up again and get another one, looking at the body language, they haven't responded like a team that's rolled its sleeves up until we'll get after England, you know, try and pull that goal back. There looks a lot of dejection on the field to me from the Swedish team.
Header from Jakobsen. Turned on by Allbeck, only as far as Campbell. Again, England looking to go early and long. Heskey, though, has won it here for Vassell. Owen beat to the ball by Mjällby. Threaded through to Allbeck. Alexanderson looking to join in. Scholes got to him, but Alexanderson has found Ljungberg popping up on the right-hand side now and running into his Arsenal teammate Ashley Cole. No free kick.
No, they all thought he'd gone out of play as well, and full marks to Heskey. Read the script very quickly. But once again, it's that long, it's a 50-yard pass, and I tell you, it's got to be very accurate. I don't think
it's a 50-50 chance, no more. That's what you're saying.
And you're hitting straight balls into the bargain. I think you've a chance if you play diagonal balls. Makes it harder for the defender to deal with. But when you're hitting them more or less straight at, and particularly with somebody like Owen, you know, who's with all the will in the world, he's going to have problems fighting big centre halves when the ball's up round his throat somewhere.
This was the moment.
That's the moment. Look at the keeper. Nowhere, but great header from Campbell.
And a great moment for Sol Campbell. Didn't look back to see if that had been disallowed, and there's no Shearer pushing the goalkeeper this time. And that's the goal which separates the two sides here in Saitama, with half an hour gone. Who's making the tea at half-time? We decided don't go too far because Terry and Gaza and Garrett and Bobby will have plenty to say about this half. Good challenge by Lucic. Ferdinand headed forward. Svensson unable to bring it under control, just hooks it out of Owen's path though, and here's Thomas Linderoth. It's a poor pass though. Hargreaves saw it, but well rescued by Ljungberg, on by Allbeck, but this time it's Mills who sees it because Larsson was looking for the ball play beyond the England right back. Beckham just coaxed down that side towards Vassell. Mjällby comes across, manhandling Darius Vassell, who emerges from the tussle with a throw-in. Got a bit of pluck about him, the Aston Villa player, as well as all that speed.
Yeah, I'd like to see him operate a lot more to suit England's shape, Clive. I'd like to see him operate a lot more on the right-hand side. Very often we've got all our strikers over on the left-hand side. I'd like to see him just operate, trying to get in the hole behind the left full-back area. And that would give us a much better balance and leave Owen up the middle on his own.
Beckham. Turned away by Mjällby at the stretch. Scholes. Rather expected Heskey to go and get that. Mellberg forward now towards Larsson. Campbell across. Good defending again by Sol Campbell. Every opportunity he's had this season to pick Ferdinand and Campbell together, every time they've both been fit. That is the combination that Sven-Göran Eriksson has gone for. It's been in his mind for some time. Vassell. He has a trick or two. So this is about needing 8 to 10 games to get used to international football. He is a man in a hurry in every sense, Darius Vassell. That searing pace of his has burned off the likes of Cole and Phillips in the race to make the squad, and now he's overtaken Sheringham and Fowler since he got here. And looking for Heskey with those long clearances. He's pretty good in the air for a left midfield player. Hargreaves. He's so full of running, and he's run into Lindelof this time. Clever play from Larson. Melberg. Alexanderson. Cole quickly to him. England have defended well so far. Freddie Ljungberg just helped in towards Orbeck. It's awkward, and another high bounce which Seaman is able to deal with and quickly feed Beckham.
Now this is where I think he's done very, very well, Darius Vassell there. But I think that's where Beckham wants him going in behind the left back and Owen going the other side, so he gives him two options.
Beckham has found Heskey. Scholes in support. Tucked in towards Owen, who's onside. Quite what he intended, but now he feeds Heskey, driven in low, and now Owen is offside. Well, it did come off Jakobsen, but Owen's position was an offside one when Heskey drove the ball in. There's an argument for saying that he's played on there. It was an inadvertent touch. England lead through Sol Campbell's first goal for his country, a header from David Beckham's corner after 24 minutes. Sweden have posed very little threat to the England goal as yet.
Yeah, on the evidence tonight, they're a poor side, Sweden. I mean, if you look at the Swedish side, for me, there's only two players that would possibly have a chance of getting in the England team. That's Ljungberg and the lad up front, Larson. But we've known that in the past with Swedish sides, they've usually played with a great efficiency and a great team ethic. I must admit tonight they look quite ordinary.
All back towards Svensson. Cole very quickly to the ball. Heskey into Beckham. There is some space here in midfield. Beckham angled out towards Vassell. Turn the ball beyond Melberg, his clubmate.
Yeah, but good movement again by Darius Vassell. Little crossover on with Owen, gave Beckham options from the centre of the field. I do think if England just were to string a few passes, play through midfield a little bit better, they'd make themselves better situations to play from. I mean, they've got acres of space out on this side, haven't they?
Touched forward, high and long, once more by Campbell. Svensson, though. And as far as Hargreaves, Ashley Cole. Cole was a little hemmed in there.
Yeah, I think he thought about a long ball back to his teammate, his Arsenal teammate, the keeper, but decided against it. That's better. That's a better quality ball into the front.
Cole to Vassell. Now Scholes.
Now they can change the picture out on this side again. They've got options.
Beckham to Mills. Well, we thought Beckham had gone on, I think.
Yeah, I think he was entitled to think that as well, although on a number of occasions Mills has done it and Beckham's done it where they've disappointed the overlapping player.
Starting an international game for the third time in his career at a World Cup finals, Danny Mills. Owen Hargreaves starting a competitive international for the first time. Ashley Cole with a strike, and it's a good one too.
Oh, good effort. Good effort. That's I'd like to see a lot more from England. Have a bit of confidence with the ball, knock it about with a little bit of panache. They've got much the better team.
Heskey with a good turn, trying to embarrass Sweden again. Forcing the corner from Jakobsen, but there's a rampaging burst there from Emil Heskey after that stinging shot from Ashley Cole, which sent Hedman's hands reeling back as he caught the ball.
Well worth the dip from there. Good effort.
The Swedish goalkeeper's wearing an attempted Beckham mohawk. Cheaper hairdresser, I think. Beckham takes. In towards Ferdinand this time. Looking for a double, the centre-halves. Campbell succeeded a few minutes ago.
Yeah, that's good work from
Ferdinand.
Campbell. He's run the defenders under the ball. Unfortunately, Ferdinand just gets turned by the defender at the last minute, just stretching for it.
Both those central defenders have probably grown up from the big moves they've made in the last couple of seasons. Both captain material, Ferdinand the Leeds captain, Campbell the former Tottenham captain. Svensson in towards Allbeck with a smart shot, and Seaman had to be quickly down. First save?
First shot. Wasn't sure it was a save. Well, yeah, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt on that.
Ljungberg. Linderoth to Svensson. Poor ball from Lucic. Ferdinand got a call.
I would say, looking at this, England's biggest problem is if they start to lose focus and concentration. It really is quite a comfortable, easy game for them at the moment.
Neither Larson nor Ljungberg, the two potential danger men, have really been able to influence the game in a big way. Scholes again squirting an early ball forward, which was way overhead.
But you know Paul Scholes, you've seen Paul, that obviously is the game plan. Get the ball forward as early as possible. And Paul Scholes is a great worker of the ball, isn't he? You know, he'd have been looking to play contact balls, keep the ball. And with us in the lead, we don't have to throw the ball forward too early. We can pull defenders about and then pick our moments.
Been a talking point in the weeks leading up to the game. I'm not sure that England are playing a whole lot different than they have done at any stage under Sven-Göran Eriksson. There is a directness about them, but certainly there's a pace about their strike force, which I'm sure is the core reason for this fairly direct approach.
My argument against that, I mean, I'm all for getting the ball in early to the front players, but I think you can get it in from midfield and play better quality. It's a shorter ball into the front players, and it gives you more chance to be more accurate with it. I think at the moment England's percentage isn't great in the number of long balls we've hit forward.
This is Svensson, cut out by Scholes. Beckham looking up for a run, but as he did so, Svensson was able to get to him.
There'll be a few eyes on him now. He's just starting to limp a little bit now. Whether that's a coincidence, I don't know.
His hands on his hips, taking a bit of a breather. The England captain hasn't obviously done a great deal of training, but he is a naturally fit and athletic man. So could be said of Cole, but again, possession given away rather cheaply after a good bit of defending.
Yeah, Clive, for me, we're so much better than Sweden. We've got so many better players. We're playing into their hands a little bit. We're encouraging.
Ljungberg on towards Allbeck. Campbell couldn't quite cut it out.
If you like, I think we're encouraging an inferior side to stay in the game. I think we've got that much talent out on the field. If we pop the ball about, picked our time, picked our passes, we would cut them to ribbons.
Just got a touch of the ball. Did he get a touch of the ball back too? Maybe inadvertently.
Because while it stays at 1, they aren't completely discouraged. I think England could really put these to bed if they didn't get more possession.
Owen into the path of Beckham. Now Hargreaves. It's a difficult one for Owen to receive from Beckham. There's very little rhythm or fluency about England. The momentum that they gained and the optimism that they brought with that opening goal has subsided a little.
I mean, they worked hard to get to the situation to be leading the game. Now I think it's the time when they draw the Swedish people and make the Swedish players chase the ball, and openings will occur for them.
Linderoth. Larson. Linderoth. Svensson. Ljungberg unable to change direction. Mills again with a rather agricultural clearance.
I just wonder as well at half-time whether the Swedish coaches might look at it and think, well, England are getting far too much possession. They've gambled on...
Larson looking for Allbeck, and he's protected the ball well there, Allbeck, and able to swivel and turn and get in that full-blooded volley.
Yeah, just a couple of occasions. Allbeck had the shot that the low one into Seaman. He's forced an issue there again, you know. And if England gets sloppy, and while we're only living on a 1-goal-0 lead, then anything can happen.
That one goal given to England by Sol Campbell with a header from David Beckham's corner after 24 minutes. Ljungberg, Hargreaves trying to get to him. He's fouled Ljungberg in the process. Larson.
They're getting back to that point early, Clive. I just wonder at half-time whether they'll say, just a minute, England getting far too much good possession on their right flank between Mills and Beckham. Let's put Ljungberg out into a position where we know he plays an awful lot and try and stifle them a bit.
Svensson charging down Hargreaves, clearance from the ball, spun infield and stayed in, but Hargreaves is able to get it away at the second attempt, and this time he finds Owen. Back to Scholes, that's better, up towards Vassell. Just tagged by Alexanderson.
But that's when you made the point there. That's when Scholes does play well. He's a great 1- and 2-touch player, combination player.
With a very gross respect to Everton Football Club, there are 2 players in the Swedish midfield, Alexanderson and Linderoth, who have not been regulars for Everton this season. Ball just hitting the back of Heskey. It might fall for Beckham. Vassell out on that left-hand side. Scholes. Beckham. There are 2 added minutes to play at the end of this first half. Beckham to Owen. It's opened up a little bit for Michael Owen. Jakobsen managed to get in a challenge, and Ljungberg has come back to help out. Mellberg scoops the ball clear. Teddy Lucic. I suppose if you're looking in from outside, it hasn't been the most scintillating game of these World Cup finals thus far, but the scoreline is the all-important thing when you support one of the 2 teams, as I dare say 1 or 2 of you at home do. And England lead. Ljungberg. Linderoth. Looking for Larson, headed away by Mills. Came off Hargreaves for Ferdinand. Again, though, the ball given away too cheaply. It really is coming back at England too quickly. Mjällby. Free kick has been given against Allbeck, and that show of dissent from the man who's joining Aston Villa will be met with a yellow card. Temper. As club manager Graham Taylor is watching here this evening with our ITV team. It's the half-time whistle. It's the scoreline that's about to come up that will please Sven-Göran Eriksson more than anything. A single goal scored by Sol Campbell, his first goal for his country. A powerful header from an inch-perfect free kick from David Beckham. It's not the sum total of the action in this first half, but there haven't been a great deal of opportunities, and rather little threat from Sweden to suggest that they can change things. But Terry, Bobby, Gazza and Gary may just have something to say about that with Des in just a moment.
Heskey. England hat das Spiel bisher im Griff. Hier ist Saitama ohne zu glänzen, so viel fürs Erste vom Reporterplatz. Und weiter geht's mit René Hieben und Jürgen Klinsmann.
Gleich geht's weiter mit dem WM-Vorrundenspiel, live präsentiert von Bitburger.
Es war die 24. Minute in Saitama, als Sol Campbell hochstieg, höher als alle anderen und das 1:0, sein erstes Länderspieltor bei dieser WM erzielte, für England zur verdienten Führung nach 45 Minuten. Ganz zur Freude, muss man sagen, von Jürgen Klinsmann, denn ihr beide habt zusammen gespielt bei Tottenham. Natürlich auch was für unsere weiblichen Zuschauer. Ein begnadeter Körper, der von Sol. Mit Ihrem Reporter wünsche ich Ihnen auch in der zweiten Halbzeit viel Vergnügen mit Bela Reti.
Weiterhin viel Spaß beim WM-Vorrundenspiel, live präsentiert von Bitburger.
Es ist dunkel geworden. Hier eine gute Autostunde nördlich vom Tokio, im industriellen Ballungsraum. Klingt wie im Vorort, hat aber 6,9 Millionen Einwohner. Saitama, die Provinz. Ich hoffe, mich nicht Jürgen Klinsmanns Prognose anschließen zu müssen. Würde mich schon noch über das eine oder andere Dörrchen freuen. Wir schauen noch mal runter, aber England ist auf jeden Fall unverändert geblieben. Jetzt kommt auch der Neuner der Schweden, Freddy Ljungberg. Also auch die Skandinavier vertrauen weiterhin ihrer Anfangsformation. Dass der Schiedsrichter bleibt, Carlos Simon aus Brasilien, ist ohnehin klar.
Free kick given against Allbeck for backing into Campbell. Aston Villa paid around about £2 million for Marcus Allbeck, thanks to a contract clause in his contract with the Dutch club Heerenveen, for whom he's been a big scorer in the last year or so. Scholes. Here is Heskey. Scholes in towards Vassell. A bit more purpose about this England build-up. Scholes aware that Mills was making a run because Beckham had come infield, and this is Danny Mills. Got a left-footed shot away.
But that's the best bit of football for me we've played all match, and the prime instigator behind most of it was Paul Scholes. He led the ball 3 or 4 times, saw the space on the other side, put Mills in. I actually think Mills might have been better or more positive having to go on the outside, taking the last man on the outside.
Alexanderson. Firm challenge by Ferdinand on Larsson, but it's come here for Ljungberg. Now tucked into Allbeck. Couldn't quite get the ball to dip quickly enough. Larsson still down on the edge of the penalty area, courtesy of Rio Ferdinand's wholehearted challenge. But Ljungberg set up Allbeck.
Yeah, I mean, Allbeck's had three attempts at goal in the last few minutes of the first half and in the opening stage of this half. But I think I'll get back to Paul Scholes, because I think he's very influential for England at international level, and I think he needs Beckham closer to him. I mean, young Hargreaves has had a good first half of the game in terms of breaking things up and all, but dealing with the ball he's not as comfortable as, say, Beckham is. And I think Scholes would love to have Beckham in fairly close contact with him.
Got to watch those back passes. As I said, the ball is bouncing up very, very high, and it's awkward for David Seaman, who has to take a couple of touches before he can clear. Here's Vassell. Got on the dangerous side of Melberg here. Which way is he going to go? He can come either way. And he spins and twirls so often. The defender gets almost dizzy watching him. Had the ball for half a minute now. Heskey. Scholes. Mills. It's a pacey run by Danny Mills. And he's cut inside Lucic. Heskey. Back to Scholes. Tossed in towards Owen. Header away by Mjelby. Linderoth trying to tidy up, sells Alexanderson short. Oh, Scholes looks unlucky to me there.
I tell you what, good start to the game from him though. You know, he's now involved in the game, and for me, so many good things come when he's getting good possession.
He's a bit of an old hand, you know. This is his third major tournament as an England regular, but he still plays with the same menace and mischief of a boy on the local rec. Larson on by Olbeck. Ljungberg trying to get there. Good covering from Danny Mills from right back. Cole almost giving the ball away to Alexanderson. It's almost 3 years ago to the day that Graham Lasso was injured playing against Sweden at Wembley in a Euro 2000 qualifier. Then came Michael Gray, then Stuart Pearce, then Steve Guppy, then Phil Neville, then Jason Wilcox, then Gareth Barry, then Seth Johnson, Chris Powell, Michael Ball, and eventually, 15 months ago, Ashley Cole as the answer to England's left-back prayers. Seemed one of the more unlikely solutions as a rookie 20-year-old. He's still a little rash and racy at times, but he's proved the remedy to a headache that just wasn't going away. Mellberg with the free kick. Headed by Larson. Climbed well. There's been a lot said about Henrik Larsson seeking a higher level of club football than Scotland. He yawns at the very idea of it. The Scottish defenders can bruise you just as easily as anywhere else, and he has scored goals in very, very intimidating and competitive games on an incredibly regular basis for Celtic. Tell me his son Jordan is as Scottish as he's Swedish, and Larsson loves his golf. He's in paradise up there. Hargreaves forward to Beckham. Across comes Mjällby. Owen. Heskey is forward here. Owen and Vassell are waiting in the centre. Heskey is waiting for Cole to arrive. It's actually Cole's cross. Just couldn't quite get it out of his feet.
They made up a lot of ground there, Ashley Cole. Let's see this one through first.
Ferdinand against Olbeck. And Olbeck has won the race and gone down. The referee is 50 yards away. He looks to his assistant on the near side, who's as far away, and neither of them could really make a decision. Ferdinand claimed that his shirt was being pulled. The referee's just got there now, and he's given a free kick to England. Well, he was no better place to give that than he was to give a penalty.
Well, I think Rio's saying that he's had his shirt grabbed. I think there's a certain... he's doing a certain amount of that himself, and he's very, very fortunate in my book to get away with that. It wouldn't have been a penalty, it would have been a decision outside the box when he... I think Ferdinand's actually fouled Olbeck there. I
think, strictly speaking, the referee's got it right in so much Olbeck's foul was the first one, but whether he really saw either of them from that distance is debatable. He gave the easier decision. Owen. Heskey. Vassell. He's twisting and turning again. He's almost found Owen. Jakobsen just found the ball.
He's been our brightest forward, Vassell.
Header away by Lucic. Scholes and Hargreaves getting in each other's way. Svensson up to Olbeck. Sweden looking a little brisker and more sprightly since the break. Ljungberg. It's a better game altogether. Ferdinand with a header away. Mills run into that corner, manages to prevent a corner. I'm quite sure he's going with that. The referee just speaking to Mills and telling him to put the corner flag back. You took it out, you put it back. Sorry, sir. That's clever back here. Olbeck has got in behind England here. He's turned it towards Svensson. It's Heskey inside of his own penalty area who clears. And as far as Mellberg. Came off Scholes. It's awkward. Ljungberg is there. Beaten to it by his Arsenal teammate Campbell. Svensson beaten to it by Campbell. Double intervention there by the Arsenal man. Helped on by Alexanderson. Cole got buffeted by Larsson. Vassell. He was ambitious, but he's in that kind of mood. He's confident. He's scored for England in 3 of his previous 4 international starts. He had one cleared off the line in the other game. He just seems an international natural.
Yeah, he's lively, he's fresh, he's running, he's making some good runs. He's certainly making the most intelligent runs of our front players.
Free kick to England. Sweden are preparing a change, and Southampton fans in particular will recognise Anders Svensson. Forward by Mjällby. Header on by Heskey towards Vassell. He gets there too. He wins so many races, he's no right to win. Decision has gone Sweden's way, and Anders Svensson is ready to roll here. Scored a couple of crucial winning goals in World Cup qualifying matches for Sweden, and much to my delight, the player he's going to replace is Magnus Svensson. There are 3 Svenssons in the Sweden squad, and just to be contrary, Gordon Strachan has been linked with buying another of them. Don't complicate this job any more than you have to do, please, Gordon.
But I know Gordon Strachan's got a high regard for this lad. He thinks and I've been talking about him, that he is a very, very capable of scoring good goals.
Alexanderson. First time hit from Ljungberg, miscue, Svensson trying to reach it, Hargreaves just beat into the ball, it is a goal kick. And you can see what Sweden think about that. It's Freddie Ljungberg who had a virtual fresh air shot, and for all the goals that he has scored for Arsenal, it's over 3 years since he scored a goal for Sweden.
I think what happens with him when he plays for Sweden is he's having to play almost the role of the provider, whereas when he's playing for Arsenal, he makes those little darting runs up the flank, and when you've got people of the quality of Pires or the quality of Bergkamp, they see his run early, they spot him in with quality balls, and you know, particularly in the latter stage of the season, he proved what an effective finisher he can be.
7 goals in his last 8 games.
I haven't seen him make one of those darting runs in tonight, but it looks as if this fella's going to do more of them.
Under Svensson's back heel, Allbeck trying to keep the move alive. Svensson bowling over Hargreaves. Yeah, Ljungberg's international record, 2 goals in now 33 internationals.
I mean, the majority of time whenever I've seen him play for Sweden, he's always occupied that left-hand space and done it very well. I mean, I can remember him destroying England in, I think it was in Stockholm 2 or 3 years ago. That's how it was. Yeah, it was the game that we watched together, in actual fact, which I want to say brought him to Arsenal's attention, because I think Arsene Wenger was well aware of him, but he made that initial impact at the start of the Euro 2000 qualifiers nearly 4 years ago, and 5 days later he was an Arsenal player and stepping into Ian Wright's number 8 shirt. And looking at our problems on the left-hand side, and I think we have got a problem on the left-hand side of midfield, he would not be an effective player for us.
I don't think they'd sell him to us, not now. Mellberg. Alexanderson unable to control it. Here's Scholes.
See, you don't see Paul Scholes get caught indecisively many times in possession. He had no outlets. He had no. He likes to play that quick-footed ball, the one-touch to link up players. He didn't have anybody. Didn't have anybody to go at.
Kieran Dyer is available to England tonight as a substitute.
I don't think they really want to play him, but there is a suggestion he could play the last 20 minutes. And somebody like him would be very, very useful to us. Give us a far better balance than we've got at the moment.
Actually, I think there's a feeling they'd like to get some football into him ahead of the Argentina game. But with the 1-0 lead, which Sol Campbell gave England after 24 minutes, there's very little room for manoeuvre at present. And having started the second half brightly, they've gone into their shells again a little bit. And Sweden are starting to see more of the ball, and Danny Mills saw a lot of Allbeck all of a sudden. It's come out to Alexanderson. He scored. Sweden level. Nicholas Alexanderson. Error by Danny Mills set up the opportunity. And Sweden have come from behind, and England still have a match to win here. Nicholas Alexanderson of Everton.
But this is the first one. Danny Mills, he'll regret this. He's had a very comfortable game, but he gets untidy defensively, casual, sloppy. Full marks to Nicholas Alexanderson. He latches onto it. I think you'll find, David Seaman won't be too happy the way the ball swerved on him there. He's doing a little bit in the air. It's virtually gone above him, but he's hit it very well, Nicholas Alexanderson. And that's not a surprise, by the way, Clive. They haven't played particularly well, Sweden, but they've dominated the game. They've put more pressure on England, and I think England have just been waiting for that to happen to them.
I know who I blame. Whoever the manager was who brought Alexanderson into English football. Who was it again?
I give up.
Ron signed him in his second spell at Sheffield Wednesday, November 1997. Hargreaves. Other way, Michael had made the run. But England have rather invited that onto themselves during the last 10 minutes or so, and there's a bit of scratching of Swedish head going on there.
You know what, Clive, when I first came into management, an old manager once said to me, if you're having problems in your side, always look at your midfield. That's the area where you boss and dominate games. At the moment, England are getting nothing in midfield. Not for me. Paul Scholes had a terrific first 5 or 10 minutes where he dominated the game, and I think he's got to have help. And whether his Manchester United colleague is completely fit, I mean, David Beckham's had a quietish game. I think he's got to get some sort of help alongside him. We've got to get a proper midfield four. If we're playing four in there, for me, Emil Heskey is an auxiliary midfield player, if you like.
Everything not quite so beautiful for Sven-Göran Eriksson now.
Oh, at the moment, we're inviting pressure. And at this very moment in time...
Ljungberg's cross in towards Larsson. First time strike, it's a good one too. Needed a smart save from Teddy Lucic by David Seaman.
Since Anderson's come on for them, Anders Svensson, since he's come on for them, they've just flooded midfield. They're chasing forward on everything. And at the moment, for me, England are on the ropes hanging on in a game that they should be well on top of.
This is Freddie Ljungberg. Kieran Dyer is imminent, we understand. Tobias Linderoth. Challenged by Mills on Anders Svensson, who certainly made an impact. Alexanderson, though, the big impact. It was his goal after Mills had actually cleared from his initial error, but only rather rashly too.
Yeah, it's a bit of one of those as well, where unfortunately the back line of defenders are looking in on the first ball, and not one of them could really get out and press the ball. People might say, yeah, they could have come and closed the shot out, but I think because they got in on the initial ball, they hadn't got a chance to switch back.
Well, Kieran Dyer has still never played 90 minutes of an England international. He's only had 45 minutes since Sven-Göran Eriksson took over against Paraguay in April on the left of midfield.
I tell you what, could he be coming in on the right of midfield?
We've seen very little of Beckham since half-time, and you can't be too surprised. It's been a long time out of action. April the 10th it was, when Senor Ducher did his bit for England-Argentine relations and broke his foot in the Champions League match. And it's only really in the last 3 or 4 days that Beckham's returned to full training.
Yeah, I mean, he's a terrifically fit lad, but
Here goes Vassell.
I just wonder whether he's having problems with the foot, because his fitness level's never questioned. He can run forever.
Throw into England. Here comes the change, and it is David Beckham who will make way for Kieran Dyer. Captain's armband is being handed to Michael Owen, who is unbeaten as an England captain. Fantastic ovations all around this stadium.
I hope he is coming off because of lack of fitness. I'll be very concerned watching him in the closing minutes of the first half.
And having talked about the challenge which injured Beckham 22 days on from Tahar El Khalej's challenge at Southampton, Kieran Dyer returns to action. There were 5 days last month when he was actually ruled out of the squad, written off but he has made a miraculous recovery. And let's not forget, he only played 3 months of the season just gone because of injury problems. Here's Heskey. Stays on the left, Dyer's on the right. In towards Owen, punched by Hedman. Mills first to the ball, first touch for Kieran Dyer. Tackled by Lucic, on by Ljungberg. Larson. That's a good ball, and Lucic has never stopped running. It's Lucic, it's a good save by Seaman.
Brilliant football from the Swedes. Their best bit of football in the game. From England's point of view, we were so fortunate it was Lucic going onto that ball and not Ljungberg. I feel sure if that had been Freddie Ljungberg going onto that, I think England would be looking down the barrel now.
The right-footed left back appeared from nowhere and just jabbed at it with his right foot. I don't know if Seaman got hands to it or whether it just hit him in the chest. He stopped it, that's all that matters. And Sweden needs stopping at the moment. England are reeling.
All they've done, Sweden, is they've hit the front and then they've ran forward. Particularly, as I say, since the advent of Anders Svensson. Ljungberg's gone out on in his normal position out on the left-hand side and given them a balance. And England at the moment are very much a mishmash.
And they have a little base camp here from which to make another assault on the Swedish summit. Cole with a mishit cross.
Never enough in a game, is it? 1-0. Never enough.
This was the guy who nearly put Sweden in front, Teddy Lucic.
Beautiful ball there. Full marks, the big goalkeeper Seaman. I mean, probably haven't given him enough credit there. He's used all his experience. He stood big. He's made a hard target. Put pressure on a non-scorer, if you like, Teddy Lucic. I think if that had been his teammate Freddie, I think he'd have been moving the ball on him and trying to open up an angle.
Free kick to Sweden. Conceded by Mills.
But since that opening 2 or 3 minutes, Clive, we've been so untidy, we've been sloppy, we haven't dealt with things. The goal was really a result of sloppiness.
Svensson. Crossed in towards Larson. Campbell couldn't reach it. It needed Ashley Cole to come in. Oh, it's a fantastic hit by Linderoth. Just rose over the crossbar.
You can see it in their faces now. First half, dejected, shoulders are slumping. It looks as if they were just waiting for defeat, Sweden. Now there's aggression, there's a passion about them, they're driving the game forward, and they're first to everything. Everything that's dropped in this half, they've latched onto.
Almost an Everton double. Alexanderson has scored, Linderoth almost did.
And I would still come back to them saying in the first half, how many of their players would get selected for England? And now they're playing with a pride, they're playing with a commitment, and
well, David Moyes hasn't been selecting him for Everton.
We're second too many times at the moment.
Campbell looking for Owen over the head of Jakobsen, who's been a very able deputy for Anderson.
First class example there, Clive. What a number. The ball's gone up to Owen and Jakobsen's against him. Ball's headed down and they pick up the bits, whereas I thought Heskey should have been bursting blood vessels to get alongside him.
Mills motoring forward. Got Dyer at his shoulder. Didn't quite provide the pass that Kieran Dyer wanted. He certainly didn't provide the pass that Danny Mills wanted, and he brings Freddie Ljungberg down in his desperation to get back to the ball. And there is a desperation about England now. They know that they have Sweden where they wanted them, and suddenly they've lost their grip on the game.
He's actually touched that first.
He's touched Ljungberg too. Red hair spells danger. Larson with a header on. Ferdinand against Allbeck. Forced out of play by Ashley Cole, but it is an England throw.
If anybody, I know he hasn't been on the score sheet, but I think from Sweden's point of view, I think Allbeck is the one that's carried them through, charged the game forward a little bit for them, got 2 or 3 shots in, and that gave them their encouragement. Now what England are looking for is a spark. They're looking for somebody to make something happen.
Scholes. Mills. Vassell. A little push there from Mielwi, unseen by the referee. Scholes with a missed-time challenge. It was a bit of a hack at Larson, really. This is the goal again from Alexanderson. In fact, we're just going to see that. That's the Scholes foul on Larson a moment or so ago. Alexanderson's left-footed strike. He is a naturally right-footed player. It was a strongly hit shot, and that was the reaction on the Swedish bench, and the reaction from the Swede on the England bench. Owen, made space for the shot. Side netting. Sit down at home.
Yeah, unlucky. Good attempt. I mean, he's had a quiet game, but that's the sort of moment he's capable of, even in a quieter moment. Cuts him side and almost does Edmund at the near post. But I mean, we're now looking for the players of his ilk. One of our world-rated players has already gone off. You're looking for your main men now, and this is where the likes of Owen, the likes of Scholes, the likes of Campbell and Ferdinand have really got to try and steam the game up.
The word from Gary Newbon down by the England benches is that David Beckham's foot is okay. He's just suffering from tiredness. It's a fatigue problem rather than a foot problem. That's good news. Svensson. Shot from Allbeck, shot from Ljungberg. Didn't quite get hold of it.
Yeah, we sensed that Sweden had a great chance of an equaliser, that an equaliser was on the cards. And quite frankly, I'd be, if I was Sven, I'd be very, very worried at the moment that if England don't really get it together, it could be even worse.
Sven-Göran Eriksson is about to bring on Joe Cole. Mills towards Dyer. Vassell. Nice feet. Hargreaves. Scholes. Swung into the path of Heskey. This is a little more promising from England. Heskey's cross doesn't beat the first man, though, not for the first time. Cole has got it back. Challenged well by Alexanderson. Ljungberg. On by Svensson. Larson. Into the path of Allbeck. Oh, the well-constructed Swedish attack with a fine challenge by Campbell, ending it. Heskey. Dyer made the run. Jakobsen made the clearance. Linderoth back on the ball.
Just thinking where he's going to play Cole, he's going to play him on the left-hand side of midfield. I mean, I'm looking at that. And quite frankly, having three so-called pacey men up front certainly hasn't worked for me.
Ljungberg seems to have come alive a little bit in the last 15 minutes or so, having had a pretty subdued game by his standards. Svensson with the cross, Campbell away once more. Owen laying claim to it. Scholes back into his path. Now on to Darius Vassell. Surrounded by blue shirts, but that doesn't stop him. He just run past Jakobsen, who hauled him down cynically. That's a shame.
It is a shame, because at least Darius Vassell was being absolutely positive there. That'd have been closer on goal. I think the lad might have been seeing more than yellow there. At least he's driving, at least he's positive, and I would want more from that. I'd certainly want more of that out of Heskey.
Do you know, this is the first free kick we've had in David Beckham's position. Where is he? Sat down watching. Magnus Edman had apparently put together a video of 50 David Beckham free kicks to study his actions, and the first free kick he'll face from this kind of position is going to be taken by Kieran Dyer. Clipped in by Dyer towards the heads. Dyer's got it back. Beaten to it though by Svensson. Alexanderson. Larson looking for Cole.
Good front play that, wasn't it? Good front play. Knew it was going to be difficult for him. Made his own space. Invited the defender to come and knock him down.
Darius Vassell, I think, is going to make way for Joe Cole.
Yeah, he's done very well. He's been one of our pluses tonight, Darius Vassell. Obviously, Heskey's now going to go up front and do the normal club pairing, and don't altogether argue with that. I think Heskey's main position for England is as a centre-forward.
So the Liverpool pair are together, although they'll have a new teammate. We understand El Hadj Diouf is now going to become a Liverpool player, the Senegal striker who made such an impact against France. Svensson. Larson couldn't quite control it, or they came to him sharply. Svensson certainly got stuck in and made things happen since he arrived, but Joe Cole doing just the same.
Well, I think that's what Eriksen's got to hope for. He's got to hope that Joe Cole has the similar sort of impact as Anders Svensson has had for Sweden.
Does that England number 19 shirt ring a bell with me? Ah, yes, I remember. PM local time. High noon with you at home. And it really is coming to the boil now with 15 minutes left in Saitama for England, who led through Sol Campbell after 24 minutes to exert themselves again in a game which has started to drift away from them since Nicholas Alexanderson equalised just before the hour mark. Owen. Good challenge by Alexanderson. One for Larson to chase. Just hit his head as he was looking over his shoulder for the ball.
It's incredible. I mean, I thought Henrik Larsson first half looked very dispirited, very much as if he accepted the inevitable.
Joe Cole. Dyer making a run ahead of him. Cole will go it alone. Ooh, he didn't get hold of it. He got himself into a good shooting position too. He has said openly that he feels that he's good enough at this level now.
But that was great movement by Dyer. His diagonal darting run took the cover off, took defenders away, opened up an opportunity for Cole to get a shot in.
He had that mixed night against the Italians at Leeds in March when you thought that maybe his World Cup hopes had gone. He had a good night then against Paraguay at Anfield in April. And it was a pretty bold choice by Sven-Göran Eriksson to bring him, even though his midfield options were limited by injuries. Night when you can't help but think of the likes of Steven Gerrard and Jamie Carragher and Danny Murphy, who should be here along with Gary Neville. Larson. Well, Argentina won their opening game. They would love a draw here.
More to the point, they would love to think England would play like this against them.
5 days' time in Sapporo, the northern tip of this World Cup. England versus Argentina under the roof, and then on Wednesday week, under the afternoon sun in Osaka, England face Nigeria. 3 steps to the haven of the last 16. Who will get there? Hearing the old national anthem a few times in the next few days, won't you? England needs stirring here, but it's Svensson on the ball. Seaman got down to it.
Well, done us a favour there, to be fair, Svensson. Hit that early. But once again, even the little knockdown header, he pounced on the ball, he was quicker. I think Young going to Hargreaves at the moment, he's faded from the scene a little bit in this game. I mean, I do feel very, very sorry for the 2 English central midfield players. I think they've had to cover acres, and at the moment, that's the area which they're dominating in.
But Scholes has found Dyer. Mills available on the overlapping run. There are 5 white shirts in the box. Mills swung in towards Ashley Cole. Just came from behind Alexanderson. He was unsighted and he couldn't control the header, having made an adventurous burst into the Sweden penalty area.
That might just be as significant. Alexanderson making the ground there does enough to make sure that Cole couldn't see the ball. And the one thing Alexanderson will do, or one of the things he'll do, he'll stick to the task.
Good challenge by Campbell. Tossed forward by Anders Svensson. Incidentally, at 1:10 this afternoon, that's 15 minutes after this programme, you can talk live on our website with Terry Venables. That's via the ITV World Cup website, itv.com/World Cup. It's at 1:10 this afternoon. Terry will be online to chat with you. Plenty to talk about. Good turn by Heskey. Good shot by Heskey. Not quite the good result we wanted for Heskey, and maybe he deserved. That's his most positive contribution, and it's come 2 or 3 minutes after he's moved to his favourite position.
But that's what we want to see more of him. Good strength, turns the defender comfortably, starts to strike purposely for goal. Bit unfortunately with his shot. It's not the world's worst shot, but at least that's the sort of drive and spark. Where, you know, he's a big, powerful guy now. Can he punch? Can he really punch his way over the closing stages and drive England home?
Change up front for Sweden, where Marcus Albeck has been replaced by Andreas Andersson, who is now an AIK Stockholm player, who played at Wembley in an FA Cup final for Newcastle United. Kenny Dalglish, the man who signed him, left 7 months later, and Ruud Gullit signed Duncan Ferguson, and he had fewer opportunities then alongside Alan Shearer, and he was eventually sold on just before Bobby Robson took over 3 summers ago. And they say he's ready to try his luck abroad again. And a spell with Milan too. And he may well be Italy bound. Apparently Arrigo Sacchi is showing some interest in him again at Parma. There is Anderson. Larson. Anderson. Got away from Cole. Couldn't get in across thanks to Campbell, but Sweden do have a corner kick. Anderson freshening up their attack. Two central defenders have done well tonight.
Yeah, they've stuck to the task. They battle it out. They've once or twice I thought they could have been more decisive in the air, particularly on the long goal kicks. I think they've allowed the ball to bounce a little bit and built up some pressure on themselves. Just thinking there of, you mentioned there about Andreas Anderson, thinking about his ex-teammate, what a good night he had last night as well, Dahl Thomason.
Sent towards Mjolby at the near post. There's a chance for Jakobsen, the centre-back, who's come forward, and a couple of Sweden's best chances have fallen to defenders.
I think we'd be thankful that that dropped to him. You wouldn't like to see somebody like Ljungberg on the end of that, would you? I mean, he's got plenty of time to get a sighting, and it may have bounced a little bit high. You've been making the point earlier about how high the ball is bouncing.
Rather rueful look on the England fan until he saw himself on the big screen. But it's that kind of feeling of an opportunity lost here.
Oh, the game was there. First half, Clive, the game was there. The game should have been put to bed, done and dusted. And second half, we could have been bringing Beckham off, or should have been able to bring Beckham off and resting him up for maybe even the Nigeria game, if you like, on the premise that we'd be well in the lead. Now, we'll have it all on to hang on to a point. Unless one of the front players, or unless Joe Cole can produce something mercurial.
Nothing more that the mercurial one can do now, other than get his breath back, ready for a rematch with Argentina. One or two furrowed brows down on that England bench. Sven-Göran Eriksson's a proper England manager now. He had some World Cup problems to deal with. Ljungberg running away from Dyer, making up with Larson. Good play from Ljungberg. Larson gives it in back, in towards Anderson. Campbell quick again. Seaman's feet quick enough.
Now, when in doubt,
Anders Svensson into Andreas Andersson. Ferdinand did well that time, but the cross to the Sweden corner.
Yeah, but one thing that would really concern you, mentioned in the next forthcoming game, Argentina, with all their quality. At the moment, Sweden are completely out-footballing us. The passing's been better than us. They've been much, much sharper to the ball, particularly in decisive areas like midfield areas and so forth.
Seaman punching. Hit first time by Alexander and cleared first time by Hargreaves. Another good, solid header from Campbell. Heskey's initial chest control was good enough. Hargreaves miscuing. Looks a bit weary now in Hargreaves.
Yeah, I think the game's caught up with him. I don't know how fit Nicky Butt is, but you wonder.
Anderson. Ljungberg. Tried to sweep it in towards Larson on a run. Campbell dealt with it once more. Dyer, that's a little ambitious in the circumstances. Lucic. Back out to Anderson. Looking to force his way past Mills. He's held him up well. He's had that one untidy moment, really, Danny Mills, which has cost England so dear. But Ljungberg is opposing him here in a squeeze and a low cross, and Ferdinand away once more. Dyer.
So many basics going wrong. I mean, the biggest problem we've had has been our quality on the ball. We've given away far too easily. But now you're watching situations where people are playing give and goes against us, and we're not sticking with runners and all the little ugly things that that England need to do at the moment, even just to stay in the game.
Poor clearance from Headman. Dyer has found Heskey. Hargreaves to Scholes. Ashley Cole getting forward past Alexanderson, trying to tuck it into Owen. Didn't fall very kindly there. Svensson got it away. Larson. Joe Cole trying to dispossess him. Ashley Cole trying to dispossess him. Neither of them can. Alexanderson back to Melberg. Anderson. It's fallen for Linderoth. Johan Mjelby. Another firm header from Campbell. Four minutes remaining. England took the lead through Sol Campbell's header after 24 minutes. Nicholas Alexanderson equalised just before the hour mark. And he took charge at the start of last year, won the first 5 World Cup games, including Munich. They say that he did receive a couple of half offers, in his words, to coach Sweden in the past, and the timing was never right. Sweden in the hands of Lars Lagerbäck for now. Linderoth. Svensson. It's a little too much for Ljungberg, who himself hasn't done much training of late.
We've got 5 men now virtually in a flat straight line up front against their defence. You know, somebody's got to drop out and join up and look for the ball.
Forward by Campbell.
That's what happens. The defenders, they're being forced to just hit balls where players are marked.
That's a good ball from Linderoth. He almost released Ljungberg. In fact, Svensson's pass it was. Joe Cole, though, winning it for Kieran Dyer. Can't quite bring it under control. Lucic just hoisting it forward. Tommy Söderberg trying to prize one last telling attack out of his team. Can England find one?
I think Hargreaves has shot his bolt. I think it's been very hard for him. I think if anything he will have learned that to play at this level in international football, I think he's got to be sure that there's times when he's got to just play 1 and 2 touch, get the ball out of his feet early. He has tried to dwell on it a little bit.
Scholes to Hargreaves. 2 touches that time, sweeping it out to Joe Cole. Scholes. Ferdinand. It's glanced off the head of Alexanderson, out for an England throw.
But that's the teamwork they've been showing. The midfield, they've dominated. The quartet, the midfield quartet this half for Sweden has worked tremendously hard. They've passed it when they had to. They've worked back and helped defenders.
Cole's cross in towards Dyer. It was Lucic leading over and overhead. Where's Hedman going? He's conceded the throw. Mills takes. Owen. Forced back out to Scholes. Lifted into the path of Mills skillfully. Tossed in towards Emil Heskey with a header. Did about as well as he possibly could.
Yeah, it wasn't an easy one.
Considerable pressure from Melberg.
Wasn't an easy one. The ball lobbed up, coming down slowly out the air. Wasn't a driven cross at all. Unfortunately, a little bit of audacity there from Scholes. Just hooks it in there. Finding it very hard to make any pace on it. If anything, tonight has shown me that Heskey is not an international left-sided player, but is a more than useful forward thrower. For me, I think he's got to play up there with Owen. He's going to play in the team.
Anderson to Larsson. Ljungberg breaking forward, but Seaman is there. Now quickly into the path of Kieran Dyer. Fourth official is about to inform us how many added minutes there are to play. Michael Owen is on the ball for England, but it comes off him. Ferdinand with a header forward. It's 4 added minutes. Still time for somebody to do something. Ashley Cole with the shot. Rarely seen him that animated.
This is the real thing, though, now, isn't it? He knows it's all coming on top now. He's playing, you know, the way the fixtures pan out. I was just going to say Swedish. Tonight would have been the one he'd have wanted to put the show on. He'd have wanted a convincing performance, obviously a victory. At the moment, neither looks on the cards.
Down by Larsson to Ljungberg. One of the most popular radio stations in Sweden has been refusing to play any English music for the last 3 weeks. Has been organising a campaign for Eriksson to be charged with treason by the Swedish High Court. Swedish sense of humour. Jakobsen. Offside Larsson. The band still plays. The England supporters still support. And you at home have been through a few days like these with the England football team in recent years. So much hope, so much expectation. And the performance hasn't matched that expectation. Can they prize a result out of it? Seaman long towards Heskey. Came off the head of Jakobsen, and again, Alexanderson clears. Mills has got to look over his shoulder for Anderson. Throw in. 2 added minutes to play. Svensson. Oh, Cole has missed it. It's come for Henrik Larsson. Let off for Ashley Cole. Larsson dragging his shot wide of the mark. It wasn't a great chance, but it was a good chance at this late stage of the day. It would have been a winning chance.
Yeah, that's lack of concentration at this stage. You make sure, if you're a defender. Full marks to Ashley Cole. He tried to retrieve his mistake. He got back quickly and made it difficult for Larsson.
Half marks for Henrik Larsson. Firm headed by Jakobsen. Here's Ljungberg. It's Sweden who are finishing the game, looking the more likely to score. Foul by Cole.
I think what it shows this, Clive, if we do manage to survive this and scramble out of it with a point, I'm hoping that for the next match, regardless of whatever situation or whatever formation we play, that we get out there and try and play proper football.
Svensson.
Still believe this is a game that could have been won so comfortably. And there indeed, we're hanging on for it.
Well, the questions will get more difficult for Sven-Göran Eriksson between now and the Argentina game. That is the nature of the beast. That is the nature of the media and its intense scrutiny on behalf of the public. And certainly in the first half, England did launch an awful lot of long balls, and really after a bright start to this second half, they've barely been able to establish a pattern to trouble Sweden.
I mean, I must admit, second half, I think they've been awful. I thought we were poor in the first half, or average, but second half, I think we've been absolutely awful. Been no pattern, no cohesion, no quality. You know, and we've got good players out there. That's the point. If we were an ordinary side, different.
It's an ordinary sort of result for Sven-Göran Eriksson. England led in this game for the best part of 40 minutes thanks to Sol Campbell's first half header, but Nicholas Alexandersson equalised for Sweden just before the hour mark, and England can have no complaints about their opponent's right to continue to frustrate them at international level. It's a point apiece here in Saitama, which will delight Argentina, who will be making their way north to Sapporo to wait for England in 5 days' time. 5 points is generally recognised as the figure needed to qualify, so 1 against Argentina followed by a victory over Nigeria would do, but on this form England are not quite in the shape to plot such a measured and purposeful course in the days ahead. They're going to have to take what comes their way, and tonight, thanks to Sol Campbell, they took a point. Final score in Saitama: England 1, Sweden 1.